Yay Networks.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the Fitish podcast. Spring has sprung. It's not even spring yet.
I know.
It's crazy. I walk outside and it smells like spring. It feels like spring. We've been taking advantage of the weather. Nothing says your age like the things you do on the weekend, the things you look forward to doing, the probably your phone search history as well. It really gives away your age. Right before we hit record, Fran and I are drooling over a used round dining table on Facebook Marketplace that has a lazy Susan.
With a lazy Susan on it.
It's chic and has a lazy Susan. The spinning, I mean, things like that just excite me.
Yeah. Nothing better than a lazy Susan.
But this is, as a homeowner, the biggest issue I've had lately is like, it's so fun when you get a house and you move in, but then after about a year, when shit starts going wrong or there's cracks and there's dirty kid paws all over the walls and you touch up the paint right before people come over, and then you kind of, everything falls by the wayside. That's kind of where we're at right now with the house. And I noticed some things are falling apart. And my mom, now that she's living with us, she goes, I think we should, get the outside set up.
It's like, so I saw that, I see that from the outside and I found that fascinating. Like, and I think that's something that I can relate because you want to do all sorts of projects besides the projects that you have to do, you already have enough in your plate, but something that sounds more appealing, it's something that it's outside your plate. Just try to put something else like in a side plate, like in your breath plate.
Because organizing the garage, for instance, is like the lowest on the totem pole. It's so important, but it's just so gross and such a grind, and none of us want to do it. It's taken me 1 month to organize all my bathroom drawers, yet I still need to do my closet. My bathroom, I mean, y'all, I have like, the ladies get this, sections, plastic containers for like ponytail holders, like that level of organized. I actually spent 10 minutes this morning after I got ready putting everything away. I'm trying to, it kind of goes back to that turning 40 and wanting to change some of my habits. I'll never be the perfectly organized by color in the closet. That's just not my vibe. But I'm working really hard to kind of keep communal areas more organized and clean and figuring out the best approach because it's just so overwhelming to have to spend hours cleaning. But going back to the outside thing, I just want to say for those of you that haven't learned this lesson already, outdoor furniture is so expensive. Living in Texas and a lot of these southern states, I don't know if living in Louisiana, it's probably similar. It sucks most of the year. You don't want to sit outside. I think you have like a 1 month window of time, maybe, that you can enjoy it before the mosquitoes start popping off, before it's swelteringly hot. You don't even want to be outside. The outdoor furniture starts to get crusty. So I said to my mom, if we're going to do this, we have to buy covers. We have to be on top of our shit. So I had the grand idea on Saturday. You were out of town. We took Remy to At Home. Not an endorsement. We just like walking around the At Home store. They have big aisles. He can push the cart. There's like never anyone in there. They have some good outdoor stuff. So we got some new cushions. And then I was like, we should invite people over. Because you know what I mean? If you're going to move the kitchen table outside, I had bought an outdoor table when we first moved into the house for the kitchen because we urgently needed something right in that moment. And it's been an outdoor table that's been inside ever since. It's been great, but it's huge. And we were like, let's move the table.
Let's give that table to fulfill its purpose.
Yeah, let's move it outside. We're going to use it, one
Give
time?
freedom.
Yeah, anyway. So we did. And then I invited friends over, which I love having friends over, but I realized just how messy the house was. So I find myself like,
But that's what you have to have friends that you can chill. Like that. We all understand our mess. And which is a better friend that understands your mess? It's someone that you met in high school. Like,
I love, these were your friends. Well, they're our friends now and I love them and they have 2 kids, but I like having people over so much. I don't know if y'all feel this way. I like it, but I realize as a parent, you don't get to relax really. So our friends have 2 little girls, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. And then Remy's obviously 2 years old. So he has, an older and a younger girlfriend. He's much more interested in the older for the most part, just like his daddy. But we're swimming. and y'all were cooking. So we're just dealing with the kids in the pool, getting splashed on, then trying to get out of our pool and get them dressed and strip them down and then get myself dressed. I'm like a wet rat. Then go and get the table set real quick. Like I had all these plans and I'm setting the table as everyone's eating. And then by the time I'm like done setting the table, everyone's done eating. So then I go, I guess I need to clean up. You know,
But
there's really no relaxing in this process.
Like, yeah, we need to figure out better logistic because I felt like you were putting the table the whole time and I was cooking the whole entire time.
Exactly.
And there was like no downside on this whole
and we're like, where's Remy? Watching him, he's running around with his guitar trying to woo a lady, and then it happened, and then he got violent.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to talk about it? We're gonna talk about it.
I don't get it, but I think I get it. I really don't think he understands.
So last time, luckily these are really good friends of ours. I think we told you all this story that about, it was about 6 months ago, they were over and Remy had his drumstick phase. It was a kitty drumstick, but he looked at Camilla and bonked her on the head really hard. She sobbed quietly. She sobbed on mute. So, she was very upset.
With the hammer.
She was very upset. I don't think that.
I've just thought about it. I'm sorry.
Thank you for that. I don't think it really changed the trajectory of the story. I was pretty sure it was the plastic Target drumstick, but okay. So anyway, now Camilla, apparently every time she comes over, she asks, is Remy going to hit me again? So she has not forgotten this moment. So now he has a new victim, Roberta. I think that the combination of a child when they get tired, and Remy's definitely, I don't want to say he's not as much of a hitter anymore. He throws stuff. I mean, he whipped a plastic bowling pin. He stood right in front of me and did this during the Super Bowl. I couldn't even believe it. It hurt so bad. He hit me with his shovel in the pool the other day, but he's doing it right after I tell him to not. His level of retaliation, I don't even want to say retaliation, but it's just defiance. Yeah, so maybe he was jealous. Of course, you have friends over. They're playing with all your toys. The baby's sitting in his high chair playing with one of his toys. He went up to her. He had it was a plastic shovel that we use for gardening. I said, you do not throw that at Roberta. And he went whack. The second I said, don't. And I could tell Andrea, who is my friend, kind of looked at me on how I was going to handle it, and you have that element of, luckily she's a friend and the baby was fine, but I am still not beating my child, okay, much to the internet's dismay. But I definitely disciplined him, because he picked the shovel back up. I took it away from him. He started crying. I made him apologize. The baby was crying. I had him awkwardly kind of sit there and watch her sob hysterically so he could maybe kind of empathize and understand that he hurt her. But so we just tried to now use words and explain to him that was wrong. But I don't know. I think we need a professional. I know this isn't uncommon. I know that kids do a lot of this, but
I think this is so important for the foundation of his growth. I for sure believe that we need a professional or we need some guidance. And I'm actually reading a couple books about it because I really think that whatever decision we take on how we discipline him is going to shape his childhood and inherently his teenage years and adulthood. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe.
Have you utilized timeout?
So I haven't.
This is, I think, what gets really hard, and I'm not mad about it, but I said to my mom and Fran, everyone's a big talking game about discipline. And one of my issues I have is when I'm scolding Remy for doing something and I'm getting down on his level because I'm taking the approach of addressing it with words because I do find him to be very verbal. I think he's smart. I think he understands. And I've read that repetition of explaining to them why they're doing something or why it's wrong will, over time, they'll understand it. So, I take away what he has because I do not think he should get to continue playing with something that he used as a weapon. But what he'll do is he'll start crying when I'm telling him, no, you can't have it, whatever. And he will run to grandma or Fran, pick me up, hold me, pick me up, and they do it. And I just don't think that that's okay. Like if we're on the same page, I don't think that, because what he's doing is he's trying to be rescued, right? He's trying to be like soothed in a way because he's upset that he's in trouble. And I just don't like it, because then if either of them will pick him up, like I'm not about to pick him up unless he's injured or something. I'm not picking him up after I'm telling him he did something wrong. I don't think he needs to be comforted after he hurt someone. So anyway, that's how I feel about that. And neither you or my mom have utilized timeout in the room. And that's actually worked for me a couple of times. He goes in, he's upset, he tries the door handle. He actually puts himself in the chair, he puts himself in timeout, and he sits there. And then I give it like 60 seconds or so until he kind of calms down. And then I open the door and say, I put you in here because you were being unsafe out there. And I do not believe that one time is going to work. I think it kind of takes the repetition of it. But I would love for y'all to participate in this discipline week.
Correct. So I've tried timeout. The things that he seems to enjoy it. And I don't know about that. He's like, when he does something wrong, he just like throws something. I give him my phone, or he grabs my phone and he throws it. And he starts saying, timeout, timeout. I was like, I feel manipulated to the timeout, So I don't know what to do. So I lecture him
to timeout.
No,
I have never seen you take him to timeout. I know what you're talking about. You have not timed him out.
We have.
You're lying right now.
No, I've taken him to timeout, and then I put him in the room, and I just hear this kid and see him through the camera that we have in his room, that he's just having a blast.
So what is your proposed approach?
So I do not have one. I have tried multiple. Like, I tried talking to him, and I'm sure it's power of repetition, and I have been very repetitive. But
I get it now when parents say you either have the biter or the kid that gets bit. And I used to think that was so funny. I think these are just things that are going to happen.
Were you the biter or the beater? The BD.
The beater? The BD. The victim? I don't know. I don't ever remember getting bit by kids in school. I mean, luckily. This is the other thing. I don't have as much memory as everyone claims to. Fran will sit here and go, I remember something from when I was 6 months old. Fuck off. Like, no,
not
you
6 months
don't.
old.
1.5. He's like, I have memories from when I was
100%.
1.5. And I just think I don't think necessarily that it's bullshit, but I kind of do, because I just don't understand that. I don't feel like you have a lot of memories from 1.5.
Oh, not a lot of memories, but I remember milestones. Like,
You don't
I remember
your
people
mom telling you this and seeing photos of it and then associating it as a memory?
No, because I don't know if having a sibling creates a little more memory.
Like, you don't even remember what you told me a week ago. How do you remember something from 1.5?
No. I'm pretty sure having Alzheimer's right now. I'm like Dory. I have short-term memory loss. What are we talking about? So,
Y'all, I have to sleep with him. You don't. You can roll your eyes and you just think, oh, Jenna, oh, man.
So I do remember certain things when I was like 2 years old, because we had certain nanny that we were fond of, or we had people working in the house that we weren't fond of. And those memories stayed.
Trauma.
And we moved houses when we were 3 and 4. And I remember that. So I remember vivid things about like cars, like when my dad bought a new car and I was like 2.5.
I don't remember anything till I was like 4 and 5. And even at that, right? I mean, I have some memories. I don't know. Our producer, Garrett, do you remember a lot from when you were really little? A dog. You got a dog at 2.
But those are the milestones for sure. Yeah. Like, those are little milestones. So we had
Wow, I mean, that's impressive. I don't remember stuff at that age. Maybe I just had nothing major to remember.
Like, I remember
no trauma
on our first house sneaking to the kitchen with my sister, because we were not allowed to go to the kitchen after we went to bed. We were not allowed to get out of our room. So we remember like sneaking out and meeting in the little like mezzanine in the house and just going together. those little things. And if it was in the old house, we were for sure 2 and 3.
Maybe it's because I was alone and had no one to share my memories with. Another reason to have a second child.
And we're here for you. Now you can cherish these memories.
Who is we?
Remy and I.
Oh.
And Garrett right now.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. This podcast is sponsored by 4 Wellness. And, I know there's a lot of drinks. We get inundated with these supplemental drinks, powders that you add to water, all sorts of supplements out there, right? I have such a taste issue with so many things. That's always kind of been the biggest deterrent for me when people are like drinking things that look like algae water. I can't get down with it. And when 4 Wellness first sent me their supplements, I was so sold from the beginning because of their approach. You're adding this to coffee. And as a coffee drinker, I love coffee. I mean, I'm drinking some right now. And I love something that's just going to kind of enhance the flavor of the coffee, maybe help me offset some of the, the artificial sweeteners and the creamers that I had become so accustomed to using. But I'm also getting my supplements and vitamins in that way. And I absolutely love that. 4 Wellness is actually a functional food brand. It's not just the supplement that you add to coffee. They have a whole unique range of snacks. And all of this was actually founded by a world-renowned performance coach named Dave Phillips. So he spent many years of his life working with top premier athletes and always wanting to kind of help enhance their performance. So that these supplements are going to be great because, I am by no means a top performing athlete, but I still want to function internally like one. And the good stuff is the main product I'm referencing. This has 5 key ingredients: L-theanine, collagen, MCT, cinnamon, and Himalayan salt. All right. So again, that's going to kind of help you offload some of the other creamers and the unhealthier stuff that at least people like me tend to put into coffee. And then I'm going to get all of these great benefits: better focus, reducing caffeine jitters, increasing collagen, and supporting fat burning, which of course is the L-theanine in there. But 4 Wellness also offers some other great snacks that Fran and I have just loved. Superfood Focus Bites. This tastes like a chocolate brownie, but it has lion's mane mushroom and cacao, and of course helps fight inflammation and supports brain and gut health. And the tart cherry recovery gummies are one of my absolute favorites, and a whole lot of other great products that I really recommend you check out. And they offer a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you really have nothing to lose. If you don't like it, you can get your money back. So if you drink coffee, it's time to give 4 Wellness a try. Head to 4wellness.com/Fitish and use the code Fitish for 25% off your order. Once again, that's 4 Wellness, FOR wellness.com/Fitish for 25% off. But make sure you use the promo code Fitish so they know I sent you. I am genuinely so excited about this sponsor of the Fitish podcast because I have seen these ads. I've seen all of these people, recommending these meals, and I'm talking about Factor. Factor is like that one meal delivery service that to me looks so delicious and also kind of meets all of the criteria that I would want if I'm going to spend money on a meal delivery service. And I've heard from all of my friends that have tried it that it's so good. So I'm so excited to get my order of this in. These are never frozen, made fresh meals, chef crafted, dietitian approved, ready to go in 2 minutes, pre-made, 35 different options to choose from every week. And I know I've told you all that I've been super interested in really kind of curating what I'm eating before I turn 40 because I haven't always had the best diet. And I just love having things that are ready to go because let's be honest, if you don't meal prep for yourself or have healthy stuff ready, you're going to gravitate towards whatever is fast and easy, and it's not always the healthiest stuff. So these 2-minute meals are restaurant quality, but they have so much good stuff, pancakes, smoothies, so many different options. I went ahead and selected the Protein Plus because I found that for me, I'm trying to get as much protein in as possible. But again, you can get as much or as little as you need by choosing your meals every week and pause or reschedule because, as parents, Fran and I enjoy cooking sometimes for Remy, and we want to order out and still kind of live life that way without having, a whole week of meals prepped for us. So this makes it so easy. And of course, Factor's less expensive than doing takeout. And I know that we all know how expensive takeout can get. Head to factormeals.com/Fitish50 and use the code Fitish50. That's Fitish50 to get 50% off. You really need to do this. This is what I'm doing right now. That's code Fitish50 at factormeals.com/Fitish50 to get that 50% off. Welcome back. I got quickly annoyed over the commercial break. Quickly annoyed. So I am...
She's laying the hammer down.
I am in traffic this morning. I took a way I don't normally go. The exit to the office, I just want to paint a picture for you all. The exit to the office, I notice it's a little backed up. You know, it's a weird left exit off the interstate. It's backed up onto the interstate. And I, am in the lane well, there's really like only one lane for the exit. And then when you get down there, it splits into a left turn and a right turn, and I'm turning right. So anyway, I'm in this long line of cars. I notice it's probably going to take a few minutes. There's some wreck or something going on. And then I notice this car on like the left side of me that's over the yellow line. So it's basically on the side of the road until it splits into the two lanes. I noticed this car like fly forward and then of course like turn the right turn signal on and like cut everyone off that's been waiting for like 15 minutes in the line. And wouldn't you know it, I was like, what an asshole. Oh my God, it's Fran. It is Fran. You do this move, and I cringe when I'm in the car with him. I just hate, I don't know if y'all feel this way. Do you hate the way that your partner drives? I hate the way that he drives. I hate it. It's a lot of, it's like the gassing and the braking. It's a lot of that, like lurching and slamming on the brakes. And then it's like driving on the shoulder of the road to then cut everyone off because he doesn't want to wait in line like you're fucking supposed to. Leave earlier. Unless someone is dying in your vehicle, why are we driving this way? You know what I mean? I totally get emergencies, but why are we driving this way? No turn signals. And you know what? If you had a perfect driving record, I think there would be an argument here, right? Like, well, I drive fine. You have so many speeding tickets and so many wrecks. Like, it is not okay. Why are you driving this way? Why do you cut everyone off like that? Why? I want to talk about it. Why?
Okay. Just because you're asking, I'm going to answer your question.
I am asking.
I am a goal-driven person and a solution-driven person. So I had a time that I needed to be here, and that was the goal. And I tried to fulfill my goals above all. And this morning, unfortunately, I had to do a little bit of a move.
This morning? No, it's every time you drive.
Well, but I'm talking about this particular moment. But I have a background for every other decision I've made. Okay.
What about leaving earlier? You went to Starbucks.
Oh, so that's the best part. Actually, you left that out. We left at the same time, different cars. I went to get a coffee and got earlier than you.
Because you drive over the speed limit, you're reckless, and you cut off a line of people that have been waiting for a wreck.
I'm not going to agree or deny that statement, just in case law enforcement is listening to this. But what happened was, yes, there was a line that I calculated the line. I counted the cars, counted the time that the light lasted. I said that line is going to take me 12.7 minutes.
I get a phone call one day. Fran's like in jail or his license has been suspended. You need to come pick your man up. He's in Waco. Not my problem.
Uber. You really think I'm going to call you?
No, I know you won't call me. You're going to call your friend that I don't even like because he's not a good person. You're going to call your friend to come pick you up.
The one that will bail me out of jail.
Because he's the one that's not a good person anyway. So you're going to have solace with the one person that's not a good person that you're going to call.
That is great to have around because he'll bail you out of jail. Not like your spouse or significant other that will leave you in jail for a couple more days just to see if it sears.
I'd be like, I've told him a million times to stop speeding. I've told him a million times to stop doing that. He can figure it out. He can find his way home.
So I will. Hopefully that never happens because I'm actually very cautious in the way I do things. But we had an appointment with our listeners, and I didn't want to be late to the appointment with our listeners.
Garrett, where do you stand on this since you have to listen to this all the time? Because he says he doesn't want to be late, yet he is almost always the one late to our podcast recording. And then he's like in a hurry because he's going to be late to a meeting. So I think you just live in this kind of like...
You didn't let him answer because you were afraid of what he was about to say.
No, he can take your side. I don't care.
He's not taking any sides.
He can follow his bro code or whatever. I don't care. He gets to listen to this all of the time. I'm sure he's thoroughly entertained, or he's like, wow, perspective. Maybe that's why y'all listen to the show, because you go, wow, at least I'm not in that relationship. That's what we're here for y'all. At least I'm not in that relationship.
We make your relationship look much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
On that note, well,
what? You have an
I
announcement?
apologize to everybody that I cut off. I had a goal. I didn't mean any offense with that. When I went and turned around, the light was green, and I let people pass, Like, hey, there was these two guys trying to go in, and the people that were driving this way, they weren't allowing them in. So I paid it forward. Or backwards, whichever you want to see.
I let one car in. That's my thing. If I've been waiting and an asshole does it, I let one person in because I just want business to get taken care of. I almost always just let someone in, but I'm not letting a whole string of cars in. It's just such bullshit when you know the lane's closed and you do that. It just drives me crazy. You know what I mean? Like, your time is not more important than everyone else that has
100% never said that. Never said that. But
that's what your behavior shows. Actions show that you feel that your time is more important.
You gave me, you gave the answer to your all questions in the very beginning of this podcast. I have short-term memory loss. So I didn't remember if that line was still closed or not. So I wanted to check it was still closed.
I can't. You just talk in circles. But yet you have short-term memory loss. But then I'd argue, but you knew what time you needed to be here, and that was your whole motivation for cutting people off.
Yes.
So you pick and choose. Selective memory loss. I'm going to start
100%.
doing that. Good. This is working well for us.
Well, I was here on time. I don't know how to please you anymore. Like, I try.
Do you? You try hard. Brian tells me this morning he's going to Austin after we podcast today. So that's news. That was news to me also.
The thing is that I think we both really have short-term memory loss because we talked about this on Sunday.
If it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. I would actually love feedback from y'all on what works for you in terms of scheduling, because I think, I'm with someone that's in denial about his level of communication. And so what I've started doing is like sending calendar invites just for the major things, right? Like the doctor's appointment I made for Remy, or he has
I love that.
He has a school tour, or this weekend at one night this week, I have a couple of commitments. So I just kind of like put it in on the radar. I don't do a lot of stuff every week.
In the calendar?
Yeah, I invited you to both of them.
Great.
Both, whether you're going or not. I was just letting you know that that's what I'm doing, So you are welcome to be my +1. You are welcome to be the child care provider. Any of those things. You just need to let me know.
Great.
But yeah, I just want you to put your stuff also equally. Invite me to know your schedule.
Sounds good.
Without verbally, because I don't think it's fair at some point to say, well, we talked about it when I was driving back from Austin this weekend, because my recollection of that is that we didn't talk about it in that same capacity. And so I knew there was a possibility, but I didn't know there was confirmation. And I think with you going once or twice a week to Austin, it's a lot. It's always different days. It's always different. And so I just think that we need a better process. I don't care if you want to hammer it out on a fucking rock, just some level of notation in writing. So scribble it, draw it on the wall.
Chisel.
Chalkboard, dry erase board. That I have a dry erase board in there. We have digital options. There's notebooks around the house. Just write it somewhere. I would love that with a little heads up. I think that would work well for us.
Cool. Deal.
No, I'm not trying to be shitty or at all. I'm actually just being serious. Like, I want people's advice because we still have not figured that out. And I have to imagine, for those of you that have kids like in school with a lot of activities, it only gets more difficult, right? Like I already think about that with school, even though school is great. But, I talked to some of my staff with Fitish who have kids a bit older than Remy. And I mean, their entire weekends and after school, some nights till 10 o'clock with baseball and with practices when they're really involved in sports as they get to be kind of that adolescent teenage. I know a lot of y'all are just slammed back to back with activities. And I would just think there's no real way to execute that without good like calendar and communication of a kid's schedule.
Yeah.
As he starts to have more of a schedule.
No, I think for sure, I agree with you. That's a flaw. and I'm getting into being more organized.
Are you?
Yes.
What have you been doing?
Oh, just trying to keep track of everything and anything. I
In
have
your
an
Dory
assistant.
brain?
Yeah, no, that's why I
So
have
it's
an
working
assistant.
good? Yeah. You have an assistant?
Yeah.
You hired an assistant?
Yes.
What's her name?
Luli.
Your sister. I thought this is when he was going to drop on all of us that he's hired some hot young female assistant, and we're all finding out together for the first time. Your sister's so she's a virtual assistant.
She's an oldie but goodie. She's not young.
Your sister. Yeah. So she's assisting you from Mexico.
She's really good.
Oh,
She's
nice.
been doing social. She's been doing videos. You know?
Cool. I didn't know. I mean, I knew she was helping you with some newsletters. I didn't know she was your
Dory.
assistant.
We talked about this.
Do you think
November.
that I
Since November.
would be asking you about your assistant if I knew? This is what drives me crazy. We talked
the
about
things
this.
that you don't pay
I
attention to
oh
what
my
I
God,
say.
Fran. I think we're just gonna have to call the podcast today. I don't pay attention. I knew Luli was doing some of your marketing materials. I didn't know she was assisting you. So could we maybe have her put shit on the calendar? What kind of assistant's not putting shit on the calendar?
Oh, maybe if she's not doing it right, we can fire her.
I just need to take a breath, y'all. This is what I do sometimes. I just have to breathe because I have a story I want to tell that is unrelated to this for everyone. So thank you. Thank you for catering to him. Our producer had to mute your microphone as you drank your noisy ice chips.
What is up today?
The Amazon man is what's up. And I'm going to tell you, Jenna is
Motherfucker, I want to kill him now.
Jenna is now 2 for 2, 2 weeks in a row, 2 altercations, neither of which were my fault, even though I know y'all like, she sounds spicy. It's probably her fault. I have to tell you all this. And then I think there's a chance that I can play the audio for you because I have it on my phone right now. And I did not prepare a producer for this, but I want to tell y'all about something that happened last night, which was, it's kind of set with me and creeped me out a bit. You know, when you have an altercation and it's like at your house with a stranger and then you're like, they know where I live. So it's kind of weird. But we were putting Remy down. You were putting Remy down. You had just gone into the bedroom. It's like 8:00. And I had ordered Remy a scooter, a micro scooter, because he keeps seeing those kids at the park with them. And I think they're a little dangerous. But I was watching 2-year-olds ride around on them and they're small. And I thought, well, he might like this. He wants it. So I ordered one and it got delivered. I was so excited. So, you know, we have the doorbell cam. We have, you know, whatever. So I was actually in our bedroom and I see the Amazon notification, the delivery, and then the doorbell rings, which I thought, oh, well, that's kind of weird. But sometimes they ring the doorbell, you know, but I'm not going to answer it. It's like dark and I didn't want to deal with it. And Wheezy started barking and I was trying to get her to be quiet. So then the doorbell rings again. And I walk down the hallway and I see this guy kind of waving at me. And I thought, well, maybe he needs a signature. I don't know. I didn't like notice we need anything. And he's yelling something at me through the door. So I open the door and he is just yelling at me, y'all. Like, I am trying to get your attention. Your car keys are in the front door. And I go, oh, thanks, man. He was like, what are you doing? You just waved at me. You could have told me. Like, I don't know. He was just kind of like going at me that I didn't get to the door fast enough. Like, first of all, who goes to the door when someone rings the doorbell anymore anyway, you know? But I did after the second ring. And he is just like chastising me for not coming to the door. And he,
maybe he was dealing with some issues at home. Maybe he had a feisty wife that was just...
You know what? I fucking love that a strange young man was literally accosting me at the front door and you're having his back.
I'm
about to quit and walk off the podcast today. You make me so angry. Can I play this audio for y'all? Because at least I'll have some empathy from those of you that listen to me, not my partner who clearly has the rando Amazon guy's back right now. I can. Let me pair my device.
Babe, you know I don't have his bag. But I don't know.
You left your keys in the door. You're an idiot. You left your keys in the goddamn door. Yo, she's tweaking. Don't tell her. Hey, ma'am. Ma'am. No, your keys.
So...
I'm trying to like, man, I'm trying to help your ass out. Like, you left your keys, man. The door. Oh my God, like, I'm trying to help you. You left your keys in the door. Jesus Christ, buddy.
Man, I have a baby. Hey, I have a baby. I'm trying to get down. I'm not upset with you. I just needed a second.
Yeah,
to
I
get out.
get it. But you could have like waved, like you just were acting nonchalant. Like your keys are in the door. I was trying to help you. I could have took your keys. Your keys are right in the door and your car's is right here. I'm just doing you a favor. I didn't have to do anything. But you got it.
I'm
It's
not
okay.
upset. Thank
I
you
never
very
said
much.
you
I don't know
were.
why you're upset. I just was taking my time. I have an infant. Thank you.
I mean, that has nothing to do with it.
Yes, it does. I had to put the baby down.
You looked at me twice and then walked.
Oh my God, man.
All right, that's it. Did you enjoy that? Like me getting yelled at by this rando Amazon man because I didn't come to the
So
door
annoying.
fast enough. I get that he was doing me a favor, like thank you, but he's continuing to yell at me like I didn't want to go answer the door for this young guy, ringing the doorbell. And he already looked crazy when I made eye contact with him, but I was way down the hallway in our bedroom. It was just the strangest interaction. So, there's moments like this when things like this happen that obviously he was so creepy and weird. I don't know. Maybe, am I blowing that out of proportion? I don't know if you heard, if you could kind of tell by listening back to that audio. Obviously, some of that was before I came to the door. And he's sitting there swearing and bitching like what an idiot I am. Clearly, my mom had left her keys in the door when she came in a bit before that. So that happens. But I don't know why he's jumping to, I could have just taken your keys and stolen your car. Like, first of all, that's sketchy and weird. And then, you think about sending it to Amazon because that is just so creepy that he's behaving that way. But I'm not going to do that because
He knows where we live.
he knows where we live. If there was ever, I'm just not going to do it. I just don't. But it's rattled me so much, because he was so mad. I cut the audio off. This was the recording from the Nest Cam, but when I listened to it back originally, the whole time he's going to his car, he's just like swearing and bitching about me, but it was so weird. I don't know why in hindsight, I was like, I'm not upset. I was just trying to kind of de-escalate the situation. I meant to more say, I don't know why you're so upset right now. Thank you. Like, I don't understand. I came to the door after 2 doorbell rings. I don't know why he's yelling. And it was so weird.
Out of line. So out of line. Like, I was absolutely joking about the fact that he might have a nagging wife. That's why he was upset. That is so.
It was a sweet joke. It was fun. I hope you enjoyed it.
I think that was so out of line, and partly I'm upset I wasn't there because I was putting Remy down. And I think the rule is just not go out. Like, there's no point. Like, just leave.
Well, I tried. I waved at him. That's what he was saying. I waved at him through the door because I thought he was just letting me know a package was there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was like yelling at me that I only waved at him or something. I'm sorry. I'm not going to run to the door when it's pitch black out and a delivery man's like yelling through the door. That's kind of scary, Anyway, so yeah, I know. I tell you all these stories and you're like, wow, Jenna, what's going on? But this was not Mama Bear Jenna. This was more just me being like, what is going on? I thought it wasn't as normal anymore for people to answer their front door. We usually actually have a note on all of our deliveries to not ring the doorbell because obviously the dog goes crazy. She's senile. And then with the baby, he usually sleeps through it, but you never know. So we just prefer to, could you just leave the items and go? We would have found the keys at some point. I would appreciate you not taking them. Like, let's just leave the keys in the door.
I do appreciate the guy telling us that because that's by itself unsafe. But the ways, like, it's like, I'm going to do you a favor, but then I'm going to scream at you while I'm doing you a favor.
You know what I probably would have done as a delivery driver is the keys are in the door, which inherently means that front door is unlocked. I think I would have taken the keys and thrown them inside the front door and shut the door.
Shot. No. That would guarantee someone to shut him.
Just I said what I would do as a female, as a delivery driver. I would probably take the keys out of the front door and sit them on the mat or throw them inside the front door right there and shut the door. That was just saying what I would do, not yell at someone.
No, I think that's the last thing I would have done. I'd yell at someone. I think you ring, they don't answer, I try.
I think it's one of those things too as a parent, you're like, people just don't get it. You're like, yeah, we don't have our heads on straight most of the time. The keys, I don't actually have a set of keys that I put in the front door. That's just my mom, but she tends to do that quite frequently. So if you ever want to steal my mom's car, just drive on by and look at the front door because she is probably I don't want to say that aloud. She's probably left the keys in the front door, because these are the things that we do as parents and a grandparent who's on duty all the time. We're tired and it happens. I'm going to tell a story that's going to make me very unpopular right now, but it's relatable and it's normal and it's fine. And I put Remy in the car to go to At Home, I was telling you about, and I restocked a diaper bag because I got a new car. So he was going through his little monster book bag. And plan. We were waiting on my mom to come out. Sunday morning, nice drive. At Home's like a mile from the house. So we get down there. Smoothie King's in the parking lot. We go to the Smoothie King. I get him a smoothie. I go to hand it to him. He goes, I can't reach it. I turn around. This kid, not a single buckle on that car seat. I just drove him. He's just chilling in the car seat. Not one. Not like I didn't finish it or tighten it. I did not start the process. I think because I set him in there with his book bag and he was playing, we were talking, waiting on my mom to come out of the house. In that whole couple minute period of time, I just completely forgot. And oh no, don't post this clip. You know what I mean? But like, I think that this is normal, and I like talking about it because I think all we can hope for is that these are the worst mistakes we make as parents, because obviously he was fine and it was a short drive. It wasn't like some long road trip and I realized it, but nothing happened, you know? The same thing I told Fran happened to me. I don't even like sharing these stories with Fran because then he questions my parenting. But I remember when he was an infant and I had him in the Duna and I got out of the car and I'm, you know, so tired and we were going somewhere and he starts rolling and I hadn't put the lock on it because I didn't think it was that big of a deal, you know, but it is a big deal. And I'll tell you what, I mean, and I grabbed it, you know, I think only 2 of the wheels had started to go over the curb.
Well, we all remember that you're blonde under that brunette.
The point is, these things happen as parents, and we can only hope that because I'll tell you what, I never forgot to lock the wheels again after that. And I will probably, hopefully never forget to strap him into his car seat after what I did on Sunday morning. And I think that's all we can hope for, right? Is that it's really like innocuous kind of moments that you go, oh my gosh, I'm tired and I forgot. And it's not something so major that we see these awful things happen, you know, with parents forget their children are in the back seat. My mom and I actually talked about that morning after that happened, because she's like, I could never understand how someone leaves their kid in a car and like goes to work
until you're like super sleep deprived
and you have multiple kids and they're sick. And I mean, it's just awful to think, but it definitely has happened with parents that weren't trying to murder their children, and it's just awful. So anyway, if it makes y'all feel any better, that is my parenting fail of the week and my altercation of the week. Do you want to finish the show today teaching me something in Spanish?
Yes.
And teaching our audience something in Spanish?
Yes. So I'm going to go back to the one that we talked before about. She was asking me, I was telling her that I cannot keep my eyeglasses clean. And she's like, should you give him a break?
Yeah, because they're not even prescription, right? They're just vanity.
They're a prescription, babe.
Oh, we're just telling everyone that? That's fine. I'll be on your team. That's fine.
So I was telling you that in Mexico we say that no hay peor ciego que el que no quiere ver.
I mean, that is just like a jumble. You're chewing on those words. I have no idea what you just said. You just chewed through it. No? Okay, do it again.
No hay peor ciego.
No hay peor ciego
que el que no quiere ver. Que el que no quiere ver.
No quiere
Ver. So that means that the worst type of blind is the one that chooses not to see. So that's not going to be me.
In his vanity glasses? Did we add that to the end?
Vanity glasses. Babe. Let me show you. Where are you? You're going to see the future.
Fran, these are hideous. I feel like why is the right eye? They're different.
Yeah, the left eye
is fine.
No, the left eye, I don't see anything. So you might have an issue bigger than you think.
The left eye is...
The left eye is almost blind.
No prescription. And the right eye...
Babe,
is like
you have severe issues. Like the
I have
left
severe issues, but I'm not wearing 50% vanity glasses. These are
50% Yeah, I'm gonna wear an
one
eye
eye
patch.
pirate vanity. Pirate vanity
And you
glasses
just put
out
all
here.
your
y'all.
fingerprints on them.
On
Took
that
me
note,
30 minutes to
we're
clean
gonna
them.
let you go. Que querer que peor. Bye.
Adios.